Hey guys, if you like to party and the stock block is what you're trying to go fast on, we have a new brand for you here, Stock Block the World. Go to the link in the video and support us. It should eventually lead to t-shirts, hoodies, and other apparel. What's up guys? Tuesday night here. It's cold. I think the high today was like low 40s or something. And I know some of you guys are like, man, it's way colder where I'm at. But that doesn't affect me, so I really don't care. So I just, I want to be warmer. So where we're at tonight, I'm going to tear all this stuff off the front end here. Just small steps towards getting things ready for paint. Local resto mod place that I do a lot of tuning for said they would spray it. So just got to figure out how to do some body work and get it good enough for them to spray it. And they said they would touch it up too, because I doubt it'd be perfect as far as the body work goes. That's what I need to do tonight. I'm gonna get this thing apart, and got a couple months still till our first race. But as much as I want to be lazy, the more I sit around, the less time I have. So I need to make the best of it. Alright guys, as you can tell, John's been painting the front clip there. That's why I took everything off. It's one of the easier things to do on this winter's to-do list. So I'm going to take a moment to explain another upgrade. Decided to go with the FT Spark 8 setup. They now have an Extreme as well, but the 8 is plenty for what I have. And honestly, we have never had a misfire issue ever on stock LS coils. This is a bad one here, as it says bad on it, as you can tell. But I believe this is also LS3. But we use stock LS3 coils. Never skipped a beat. 8,700 through the traps. Turn 9,000 when it spins. But it's a light load situation, doesn't really matter. But never broken up. I've had the car bogged down a little bit whenever the AFRs got around 3.0 on M1, but otherwise it's never skipped a beat. But I want to rewire the car this winter. It's been on the Fuel Tech default wasted spark setup, so I want to go to the sequential. And I was like, well, I guess let's make it count. And I also want to go to a little bit bigger injector. One benefit will be that we'll be able to run the car richer and not lose power. there's guys who have switched to the FT Spark who were, say, this is largely like in Radio versus the World stuff. They were having issues with engine longevity, and they were able to run rich enough with the FT Spark to help keep the engine alive without sacrificing any performance, because this thing, it's going to light the spark. That's all there is to it. So we got that. Got their do-it-yourself harness. Obviously, it's got a lot of pre-wired stuff, and you just adjust the length as necessary and terminate the ends. The LS coil typically uses 4 pins, whereas this only uses 3. And so basically, you got your coil wiring, and then you have a ground that you run to your cylinder head. And of course, got the instruction manual, which shows you how to set things up for the various versions of the FT Spark, along with 4-cylinder 8, 6-cylinder 8, and rotary configuration. So that's where we're at. Hopefully it's one of these things where you don't try to make stuff better and then cause problems, but sometimes that does happen. But looking forward to getting that on there. What's going on, guys, on a Saturday here at the shop? Saturday before Christmas. Christmas may be next Saturday, but I honestly don't know because I don't really care about holidays. So what we're trying to do today is get all the old wiring out. I say old, it's a few months old, but it just needs to be cleaned up, refined, and lighter. I'm going to start by taking the dash out, and I'm also going to actually hook up to the fuel tech and check some outputs so I can identify which relay is what, just to make it a little bit easier. Should have done it last time, but was in such a hurry to get the car together I didn't. So you can see all that. Most of that are pretty much fished back through the hole it came in. We put that hole there for a reason, because we had the intentions of putting the Maven bulkhead there. So that's what today is going to be, just getting this wiring out and starting getting a game plan on what I need to order so we can do it. Usually I try to order supplies beforehand, and I end up ordering stuff that I don't need, or still not getting enough stuff and have to place another order. And you know what, I got time, so I'm going to do my best to actually get it lined out first, and then I guess make the order as efficient as possible. So as I've shown you guys before in other videos, one of the cool things about Fuel Tech is being able to test your outputs, which helps for verification when wiring, or if you have an issue pop up. Just like, for example, RPM activated output here is the shifter. So, but what I'm trying to do here is figure out which relay is which. So I'm going to go down through here and see what we got. So what we got here? That right there was the water pump. So I'll just put WP, and then there's a fuel pump right there. And actually, that was under the fuel pump tab, but that's actually the oil pump for the turbo. So it'll say OP. And basically I'm going to do that for the next 3 just to figure out what's what, so it's labeled. So as you can see, get the dash out. We got a lot of extra wire in there because the main harness was a universal deal or LS deal from Fuel Tech with the FT600 adapter. Whenever we switched to that, and then of course we kind of patched it in for this new setup to get it going. But we can do a lot better job, and now that we have time, we're going to. So I'm going to start kind of cutting some stuff out and labeling it, and we want to get it out and we're going to replace it, but also just want to know what was going to wear. Like, we don't necessarily need to replace the brake stuff, the brake lights, for example, or tail lights, or the wiring for the switch panel, or I'm sorry, the wiring for the air compressor. So I'm just going to start this process, which will probably be kind of tedious, and see how it goes. So I got the engine harness removed and basically all the stuff behind the dash, kind of like you saw earlier. See how tall the box is, roughly 12 inches or so. It's pretty full. It weighed 11.6 pounds. You can literally taste the disappointment in the air. But the Fuel Tech harness is a great harness. It's not like some harnesses, like I should say the Fuel Tech, they're the pro harnesses, and that was a LS 500 harness. Now they have the 550 LS harness. Their quality harnesses are made of good stuff. They're done right. They're not like some cheaper ones that are, you know, look like they're made from the stuff you find at the parts store. But they're also kind of made to have some versatility to them, like if you have a drive-by-wire opposed to typical cable throttle. It has a plug-in for that for GM throttle bodies. Works on both style LS crank sensors, cam sensors, so things like that. Sorry, my phone rang, I got distracted. But you know, just the chance to clean it up and make it all right, look better, I should say. It's going to be a long time consuming process, but it'll be awesome when it's done. So now what I'm going to start doing is just kind of just lining things out as far as on paper and verifying what I need as far as sensors and everything goes, and take it from there. So it's been a few hours since I updated you guys. You know, ever since I showed you guys the box of disappointment, I have been going over the wiring and just making notes on some paper there as far as how many pins I need and everything. As you can tell, I got this Maven bulkhead connector. This time we'll put that on the firewall where the existing harness came through, and the hole was kind of cut out with that in mind. So really all we have to do is just drill it for these guys and we'll be good. You know, I think this one holds 47 pins, so we should have more than enough by the way it's looking. And then, you know, this is I bought this stuff several months ago because when we were going to rewire the car and I didn't. So this is for the 600. Basically, that's your input side and that's your output side, both with their own power side of things and ground. And this is the wideband harness. Another thing I decided to do, I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm going to, let me pull it up here. Let's go back to the Fuel Tech site. Can't find it now because I'm slow. So what I'm going to do also, since we are getting rid of the water in the car, we don't need coolant pressure anymore. So what we're going to do instead, or cold temperature. So what we're going to do instead is I'm going to do this EGT4 box. It'll work over CAN and it'll use thermocouples. So I'll have a cylinder head temperature, which will be basically a almost like a eyelet piece that just bolts to the head. And then I'm going to do oil temperature, because that'll be important to know with not having water running through, and it's not bad to know anyways, but now to me it'll be more important. And then I'll probably also do an air temperature one as well. We have some open holes in the back of the intake manifold, and I'll probably just put it there opposed to in the front of the charge pipe where it's been. And I'll have something else for later. But by doing that, I will actually free up 3 inputs, which honestly right now I still have a bunch of inputs I can use for stuff. I just haven't, I guess, felt the need to populate them yet, and I'm sure in time I'll add more stuff. But and then also these will communicate over CAN as well. So basically I'll give that thing a power and a ground and plug up the CAN connector side of it, and it'll be good to go. But now, like I said, I'm just kind of going over everything. I already have like a bunch of the OEM style sensor connectors from a few months ago. I bought all that stuff. I think I just need to get a few extra wires. And then I need to get some material to make a relay board and figure out how we're going to do all that. And of course we got to incorporate the Spark 8 as well. So as you can tell, this is a pretty thought out process, and it's going to move along kind of slow once I start, which is okay. I'm not in a rush, you know, so I have a little bit of time. It's very meticulous, so probably something I focus on most on Saturday, but I'm sure on the occasional Tuesday night I might mess with it as well. It's just I gotta be left alone to really focus on these things, and that's not usually possible during the week when my brain hasn't calmed down enough. But I think that's probably all for today. If I think of anything else before I head out, I'll definitely make sure to get Tuesday night here, guys. We are trying to make some more progress. As you can tell, we got the doors on, we got the holes taped up for the windows. Anyways, John is going to show me how to do some body work. I've never done anything with it, so I'm going to try to learn from him on it. Try to get that done. See, you know, we got to patch that door hole up and stuff like that. So about to be a learning experience, and we're going to breathe in a lot of Bondo or just fiberglass dust and probably feel bad tomorrow. Update for you guys. John's side looks a lot different because he had actually sanded the other side before a good bit, and he somehow gave me the easy side, which is probably a good thing, honestly. But he went through, and there's some low spots that you can't block out, and that's kind of what he's putting there now. He's putting that stuff so it can be blocked out again, and not have the dips. You can just see spots like where the metal contorted whenever these rails were welded in for the trunk. Same thing on this side. And I think I got all this smooth up here from where the roof was bonded on. But I've been taking my time. I feel like I haven't done much, but like I said, John had already worked on this side, so maybe this is what it is. There's kind of a dip right here too. I think John said the other side. I felt like I had that same dip. But anyways, it's trucking along. I didn't record this stuff. Christmas Eve here. Came in this morning to get a customer vehicle squared away before we closed for a week to reorganize the shop. So while I was sitting around waiting for something to get picked up, I decided I wanted to start on a bracket for the FT Spark. We're going to mount it behind the dash since there's nothing that needs to be accessed on it. So there'll be a weld-on bracket that's going to sit back in there. So you can see Fuel Tech has their dimensions in the manual here, and I just did a conversion calculator to convert the millimeters to inches. So based off of that, I'm going to start making my design in Autodesk, and we will get something made and cut out. Alright, got it drawn up, so let's make it come to life. Alright, let's see how she fits. Check it out, guys. Look at that, works awesome. We got our little flange to weld to down here. Out back, got that. So it's actually very lightweight. I'll weigh it at some point, but nothing substantial. The box itself was definitely far heavier. But pretty happy with how it's turned out, considering it was a last minute idea. I guess that means I can go home and chill out until the day after Christmas. What is up, guys? It's day after Christmas in here again. So this morning I came in, I was like, I need to get the dual battery mount tray made. What we're going to do, since I picked up a few extra Go lithium batteries at No Mercy for a really good deal, and I was wanting to basically just one or two batteries have the extra capacity there, because voltage just drop when you're sitting there after you're burnt out and everything else. And even when you put the trans brake on, it causes usually about a half volt or so voltage drop. So I was like, well, I got another battery already, which I had got mostly just in case something didn't get charged right, or we didn't have time to charge or whatever. But so what I'm gonna do now is run two batteries side by side, and we're not trying to double voltage, just have more capacity. I've already drew up the lower half here. That'll be what they both sit on, long ways like that. And then the top half is here. Basically, you see those little spots right there. That's where it's going to bend just to support the side-to-side movement of the battery. The BST emblem won't be there. It's so cut down that I can't get it to actually cut right with the current torch nozzle size. So I had to bypass that and just not worry about it. But anyways, that's what I'm about to do. So let's see how this turns out.
Perfect.
dual battery setup before I do the top one, because obviously if the bottom sucks and the top is based off of the bottom, it's going to cause issues. So let's see if this fits. So as you can tell, looks like it fits pretty good. Side to side, everything else. Obviously there'll be some bolts that go down through here, some long studs that you say. So that part's on there. Let's get the top piece cut, check it, and if they look good, we'll clean them up. So you can see it looks like it fits pretty good. I'm gonna get them cleaned up, and I'll obviously do a final assembly, for now. Obviously I had a brain fart. I made that hole supposed to be 0.300, that was probably 0.375, because I was thinking of the actual distance to the center of the hole when I was doing it. Since it's mine, I'm gonna leave it alone so I don't waste that material, but it does bother me. These right here, that's where I'm gonna bend at, so we'll have that little extra grab right there, and just to keep everything centered. So let me get these things cleaned up, get this stuff bent, and we'll see how the final product looks. Final product, guys, turned out pretty good. Fits well, fits snow like it should. I think it's gonna work out nice. The batteries have, can kind of see it right there, but they got some stuff in between them as well. That way they can't, vibrate against one another. But I'm digging it. So it's gotta figure out where to mount in the car. It should be a similar area since we're building a new relay board and everything anyways, but I'm glad it turned out well. So I got my mounting location figured out. Since the floor is pretty thin, I decided to make this little rectangular piece right here that will bolt on the bottom side of the floor, just to give things a little more reinforcement. That way if something was to happen, it's a lot harder to rip the whole tray out of the floor and let it go flying around. There we go, guys. I got the final product here. So as you can tell, sturdy, and worked out well. Came out a little bit further, but since we're doing the relay board different, it doesn't really matter since the other one kind of set in this area. But so that's knocked out. Obviously it'll get painted, but now that that's knocked out, time to move on to the next thing. All right, guys. So John's been working on that side over there, kind of skimming it out. At least I think that's what it's called. If it's not, you probably know what it means. I don't know. Anyways, this right here, we do want to get rid of the gas doors, because it's pointless to have, and we're going this far, so you might as well just smooth that out. So you kind of see I got my little area there. I'm going to cut that out, and then I'll kind of adjust my piece to fit that, and we'll just tack it in there, of course, and then go over it and clean it up. Update before I head out. I got this in there. It's a little low, not perfect, but John told me low is better than high, so that way you can kind of skim it and fill it and whatever you gotta do, body work terms. He's worked over here on this side. As you tell, it's primed. He's been kind of sanding it out. Same on this door over here. We're getting it sprayed, so we just got to get it decent. And I'm sure the place is doing it, probably end up touching it up. So that's where we're at. Another Saturday in the books. Hopefully we'll get a big chunk of the body work knocked out over the next week, basically next Tuesday and Saturday, and and try to get heavy on the wiring too. The machine shop is almost done with their end, so we can get that thing back as well. I can get it put back together, and we will have the long block ready to go also. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.